In this video, we are going to check out on the upgrade of the Supra that is being currently built. So as for now, we have put the rear bumper on the front as a brake. It works pretty well. We got some of the smaller dampers, the weights on the front. We got the 13mm rollers. These side dampers that I never really liked, but I'm starting to like them a little bit more now. We got the plastic rollers on top, and those are actually bent, so we might have to fix those. And then aluminum rollers on the bottom. And we got the brake down here. These kind of like half ball looking dampers on the back. And we got the clear body, which looks really cool. But today we're going to actually swap out the actual chassis itself, so we can take a look on how to take it apart and put it back together. So for all things mini 4-wheel drive and other hobby related stuff, like and subscribe. And this is what we're working with. This really nice kind of like baby blue. Personal fan of baby blue, so yeah, I think it looks really nice. I think it should pair pretty well with the pink. So let's check it out. You can see that's where I got it. I'm pretty sure they just take apart kits, or they get like the full MA chassis with the stuff for like the motor and everything like that. And then they break it apart and sell it. So this one's $352. If you think about it, you can buy a kit, full kit, for like 800 yen, so I don't know if that's their way of making money, but if it works, it works. And if you are interested, the rest of the parts are about the same price, between the 300 and 400 range. There we go, that looks really nice. I don't think that the camera does this one justice, but we'll get it in better lighting at some point, I'm sure. So if you want to see how this one ran, just check out the shorts, and you'll see some videos there on how that one's going. And I did replace the tires because the other tires, one of them kept falling off. It was getting annoying. I had a problem with them falling off before. I thought it was the tire, could have been the shaft itself. Either way, I replaced it, haven't had any problems yet. I've got these carbon ones which are working real good. So if you want to replace the chassis, basically you just got to strip everything down. I like to do it in as few steps as possible, but it's going to be a little more difficult on this back bumper here, because that goes through the chassis. On the front, it's just as easy as unscrewing these two, and then the weights as well. And then on the sides, you just unscrew the plates. Bumper, for the rear brake, you just unscrew these two. And then here we're gonna have to unscrew this from the chassis, this from the chassis, and then this from the chassis as well. So as we're taking it apart, might as well take a look at the inside. The one thing I'm really excited about with this one is the fact that we got hold on, needed something to pop it out. We got the Gundam hand, which will help us out, hopefully. No, scissors. There we go. Pop that out. We got the Dash Pro in there. This is one of the only times I've used the Dash Pro, and it's actually been very, very good. This pops off pretty easily. Don't worry too much about that. You can put that on. It pretty much seals it in when you get it all in there. So take out the first two gears. These ones are just laying about basically. And then we need to get the tires off too. Go rather slow with like a slight twist. hate doing this. I always think I'm gonna do something like that. That was pretty forceful. But hopefully these are still straight enough to use. We can double check that. You can, when you get it on, you can give a little wiggle. You can see that is either the tire so just give it a little whack like that. You can see how wobbly that is. You need to check if that's the tire on, so the actual wheel on here, is that straight or is it the actual shaft itself? Because we might have to replace the shaft too then. So that's always something good to check. These kind of get shot out a lot. So yeah, good thing that we did check that. So we can try it once we put it on the new one, because it could be something to do with the bearings and stuff like that. This is all plastic, so it does tend to break. Another reason you'd replace the chassis is because places like here, if you got screws in there, those tend to break pretty easily. I've seen them break along where the shafts go as well, so that might be another potential reason you'd want to swap out your actual chassis itself, other than making it look cool. If you ever need a 1 a.m. wake up, holy cow. So while you're doing this, it's a really good time to check if all your screws are straight. Stuff like that. These do get bent, especially the ones for like dampers when it like flies off. There we go. That is broken. So I retract what I say about plastic rollers. Maybe it's just because this one's bigger, but yeah, it's definitely cracked. And if you just have the chassis like this, the one thing you're gonna have to remember to take out is behind the, for the batteries, there's this little piece of plastic here that holds them in place. So you're gonna have to take that out too. And that looks like this. It's basically just a little clip that goes behind the battery terminal. All right, so we got it cleared off. Now our chassis looks like this. I'll probably clean this up, chuck it aside. If you are ever thinking about just doing basic tune-ups and selling those, keep your chassis, especially black, because all black builds sell very, very well. All right, on with the blue. So if you looked at it like this, this is why I don't start from this point, because it looks like an absolute mess and probably get a little overwhelmed. So if you're looking to build individually, this is all the parts that you need to buy, rather than just buying a kit and then putting the upgrade parts onto it. So buying a kit to start, try and find something maybe with the color you like, the body you like, and then go from there, rather than having to buy all of this stuff separately, because it's going to be much more expensive. So first thing, we're gonna get rid of these. Bye-bye. And just throw on another pair of these on the top. And in a rough order of how you disassembled it, that's just how you reassemble it. You don't really need to tweak anything off the chassis, since it is coming from the stock. And it just came off another one, so it shouldn't be too much different, I would expect. That ramen was spicier than expected. Got the sniffles. This one doesn't seem to be wanting to go down. So I just double check that everything gets in there properly. Oh, good thing that didn't go too far. And if you see something that you don't like, go through and check it out. So this doesn't feel like it's going in very well. I'll double check that. All right, so just going, backtracking off what we just did. So So once you do this a couple times, you don't really have to think about it too much. It's kind of relaxing in my opinion. I think that's why I like doing Gundam as well. And just kind of chill out and build stuff. There we go. So the batteries are in, or the terminals are in place. So next we'll put on the bearings. We're using the palm ones, the plastic ones. Let's see if I have any more green. And I did. Fantastic. Oops. Yeah, I like making these look cool. It's kind of like playing Dark Souls, you know, Fashion Souls. Because if you're not going to be the fastest, you might as well look the best. Because everywhere you go, there's always someone that's better than you. But that is one thing I do like about mini four-wheel drive is that, okay, these are pretty straight. I think it's just the wheel on, sometimes when the wheel on here might not be super flush and it might be a little off, so it kind of looks like it's wobbling, but it's not. But one good thing I like about mini four-wheel drive is the fact that you're not always racing people. Like, you kind of are, but it's you versus the track. So I think that's a cool thing about it. There's a little bit of camaraderie, especially if it's not like a big race or event or something. So let's look at that. Give it a little spin. It looks rather good. Line it back up to where you think it was before. Yeah, it's still a little wobbly. I think it just flipped from the first time. So that is not ideal. So this has been through the ringer, so I would be surprised if it was still straight. So this one seems a little better, but it's easier to tell with the tires on. But yeah, this car, it's not even like the same car anymore, has just been all over the place. And when you're assembling and disassembling, it's a good idea to clean stuff too. All right. Much better, but this is partially the tire. And it's probably because that's not clipped that well. But it'll be okay for now. So same thing with the front. Just give it a little bit of oil around the bearings, and then I like to just reapply some oil or grease to the gears as well. Beautiful. We'll also need to retain this on-off switch. And put that back in now. Always have trouble with these. Handy tweezers. And if you do have a bent shaft, throw it away, because it's going to be impossible to get that straight again. All right, we can drop the motor back in. So this one's, you don't really see this part, but this one's red. I can't remember which car it came from. And get that nice little click. That's how you know that's not going to go anywhere. And we got the green. Man, I wish the brake on this was green. It would make it look way cooler. And the yellow is cool, but this like lime green looks awesome. Okay, enough about that. There we go. It looks so weird not having it the same color, but put that on top of everything. Actually, you know what we should do? Give these guys a little bit of love with the oil depot. Just a little bit all over. Places that are touching stuff. If you want, you can run it a little bit, roll it back and forth, or you can just take them out. I have fat fingers, so I don't like to take them out as much as I can. Okay. That's what the tweezers are for, usually. Alright, so then we're gonna put back on that. And there we go. That is almost back to working shape. And I'll cap it off. I was gonna get a different color for this too, but I didn't want to go too crazy. I think this would have been a good color. Green would have been cool too. If I could get this in that fluorescent green and the bumper in fluorescent green, I'd probably do it. I'll probably go back to the black cap as well. This style doesn't work very well with the rubber ones. These rubber ones are really nice though. Now we need to start putting our plates back on, so just where they were, the back one, back here. Okay, so now that that's on, so the reason I do the back first, especially on this one, is because these rollers and this screw has to go all the way up through the back. If I mess that up, taking everything apart on the back again is going to be really annoying. So I like to do that first, because when I get towards the end of a build, I kind of get lazy. Sometimes you just want to be done. So do the most important things, or the things that would be the most work to undo and then do again. Do those first. That's how I do it. And some people ask, why don't you just go carbon? And theoretically, yeah, that's the better way to go. But it's way more expensive, and unless you're doing it to like actually be in a specific race, I'm not sure that the very minute difference between the carbon and the FRP is going, other than the fact that they're stronger, is going to make that much of a difference. Good. And make sure you don't put those too tight. Next we'll put back on the sides. So those already have the weights and stuff on them. This is just screwing it back in. I'm actually really happy that I found a build I like with these weights, because these are actually the first dampers I ever bought. I put them on the back and it didn't do anything. I felt like at the time, but I also didn't know what I was doing at the time. So yeah, maybe it didn't do anything. But I'm glad I get to use them. I'm literally putting them back into the build that they were purchased for, so that makes me happy. Alright, and we'll move back up to the front. So again, I like to keep these screws actually in there, so I know exactly where they are. I don't have to go, oh, is it these ones or these ones? Just go right into it, and then it's just efficient, I guess. Especially when you're out and about somewhere. So for me, again, it's like 1 in the morning. Yeah, I know. Saturday night, 1 a.m. Most people probably aren't building mini 4-wheel drives. But here I am. But yeah, if you're like at a track or something, you want to get these swapped out real quick. Best thing is to make it as close to what you took it off as to put it back on. Throw these back on too. Alright, and then the front bumper, I'll take off this tape. I'll retape this up and see what the bumper actually does with the tape. You can see kind of how dirty it is there, and then it's much cleaner up here. It's just showing that it's not touching the bumper. So this part's smooth and this part's going to catch it a little bit. So adjusting this even just a little bit can make quite a big difference. As a side note, something I've loved to learned to absolutely love is this magnetizer and demagnetizer. Yeah, let's see if we can do a little. You get that? Just demagnetized it. We'll do it again. Magnetize it. Use whatever hole you want. Oh, that's not aluminum. Duh. Let's try it with this. Hopefully it works this time. The driver's already magnetized, but it works much better when you use this. Okay, anyway. Let's get this down too. Okay, maybe it's just the fluorescent colors together with this, but that looks pretty nice. Ooh, baby. Alright, and so before, when we had these plastic ones, we're going to switch out these. These have a plastic rim, so it should be similar, except that it's got a bearing. We had this 3mm, I believe, and then the little guy. I'm not sure if we're going to need that. I think we'll use it. But we do need some oil to get these lubed up. We'll use it. If it doesn't work, it's fine. I shouldn't have put the bumper on. I knew it. I knew I was going to do something big and stupid, like I always do. Either way, as always, get the bearing spacer. That. Put the roller on. Give it a little bit of lube. And then the spacer. And I don't know if the lock nut's gonna go because we can't use the screwdriver because the head of the screw is covered by the, and I feel real dumb right now. Can't even get this on. Oh my god. Covered by the brake. Alright, whatever. And I'm not going to admit how long it took to get that on. Wow. Wow. I think I should just use tweezers for everything. Or make my hands smaller. Less sausage-like. Something I never really liked, but choosing all the sports that I did over the years, kind of inevitable. So I've had many a broken finger in my day. Alright, so now that this one's on, boom, boom, boom. We get that screwed down, and then we'll put the last parts on. One thing I thought about doing was swapping out these, because I don't really like the way that they look. But I think I'm going to keep it, because this was also something that I had bought for this car in the first place. So if I can get as many things as possible back onto this, it'll make me happy. I'm pretty sure that screw is like super not straight. But again, that does happen quite often with these dampers. If it affects the movement of it going like this, then I would change it. Again, I'm not super specific on having like the most perfect car ever, because for 99% of the population, that's not going to be a big deal. Ooh, yeah, that looks so good. And for the front bumper, all we really need is some of this tape. It's pretty much masking tape. It's expensive. Not really expensive, but more than your typical masking tape. I can't really tell a whole lot of difference between this and like masking tape. I'm sure there's cheaper options. So it's up to you. I like it because it looks cool with this build, as it is blue. And they also have red and black that I've seen. I'm sure they have plenty of different colors. I'm sure you can get different colors of different brands or whatever. But for this one, we're doing blue because blue is apparently what we're about now. And the final capstone for now. Oh yeah, baby. I'm digging that. That looks so cool. Holy cow. Okay. See, this is why I like customizing. If this would go on, oh my god. Again, this is why I like customizing, because you get to do stuff like this. It just looks absolutely fantastic. Turn it over. Got that nice baby blue. Hell yeah, I'm really stoked on this. I don't think the camera does it justice. Actually, yeah, it pretty much does. But with the green background, yeah, that is what that is. Haven't moved that mat in a while, so it's kind of dirty, but okay, there we go. Yeah, the black does it justice a little bit better. That is super cool. So stay tuned. Check out the shorts to see how it runs. Thanks.